I'm about to show you how to fold an origami paper crane. What you'll need is a square piece of paper. I'm going to use a piece of copy paper that I've turned into a square 8.5 by 8.5 sheet. And I'm going to start by folding it in half. When you fold your paper when you're doing origami, it's very important to line up the sides and the corners just as carefully as possible. Get it as perfect as you can. Nothing is totally perfect, but the closer the better. The better your crane will look like in the end. You also want to make a nice firm crease so that it makes a nice solid line. You don't want to just bend it lightly. You want to crease it really well. Go over it a couple of times. Now that you have it folded in half, you're going to fold it in half one more time. This rectangle will now become a square shape. Folding it in half, I'm lining up the corners. Very, very carefully folding, creasing. Now I have my square. Take your square, open it back up to a rectangle. You'll notice that one side has the two open ends and one side has the creased end. Make sure that creased end is facing your body. The loose ends are away from your body. Set the paper down, take the corner, make sure, double check that folded edge is down here. You're going to take that bottom right corner and you're going to lift it up and you're going to fold it so it lines up with that center fold that you made. Crease it again, make that a nice solid crease, and you should have a shape that looks like this. Turn your paper over now, lay it down, make sure that creased bottom is still facing you. Pick up the corner on this side now, pull it up, line it up with that center crease. Go over that crease a couple of times so that now you have a triangle shape. A triangle shape that has one flap on one side and another flap on the other. Your flaps should not both be on the same side. Take your triangle now, turn it towards you, and when you look down at it, you can see that the two center pieces that are together can be opened. So you want to open it up, like a big mouth. Very careful, I'm just pulling those sides so that these two long pieces come together. And it turns into a square now. I'll do that again in case you didn't see it. Here's my triangle. Got my flap on one side, flap on the other. Looking down in the top. Taking these two pieces. Carefully opening them, spreading them open so that these two come together. Closing them out, and now I have a square again. I'm going to set the square down, I'm going to smooth it out. Now we're ready for the next step. With this step, you want to make sure that this loose end, because you're going to open it up again and you're going to see that there's a loose bottom, and then there's a pointed part that has a sealed point. You want this loose open part pointing toward your body again. Lay it down on the table and see how you have two flaps now on this side. Don't bring them both up, but pull one up. Grab it by the corner here, holding your finger down here at the bottom of this tilted square. You're going to take it and you're going to line it up with that center fold that you made earlier. Crease it. So now, looks like that. You're going to do the same thing on this side. And take the one piece, you're going to gently bend it over, line it up with that center fold, and then you're going to crease it very, very well on this side too. Now it looks a little bit like a gem sort of figure. Okay, got that side done. Now I need to turn it over and do the other side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Make sure that open mouth is down here, closed up there. And take this side, I'm going to fold it into the middle, creasing it well. And do the same thing to this side. And now I have what looks like a kite, both sides. Now I need to take this top triangle piece and fold it down. I'm going to fold it right along this top edge here. I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to crease it. You can do it in the air, you can put it on the table, whatever is easiest for you. Flip it back up, turn it over, and do the same thing on this side. And I'm really just doing it twice so that I can have a really nice crease there, because I'm going to need to see that crease for my next step. Lift it back up, back to my kite. Same on both sides. I'm going to set my kite down now, and I'm going to open these sides back up. This part can be a little tricky, but if I can do it, you can do it. What you're going to do is you're going to go down to this bottom now. You're going to take that top point. If it helps to put it on your table, please do. I'm going to fold this back to this crease that we made right here. I'm going to lay it on my table. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to fold it back at that crease. As I'm doing that, I'm going to fold these two sides inward. I'm opening it up. Kind of looks like a big open beak or a little boat. Pressing these down. These two sides go down pretty easy because of the direction of the fold. This side, however, I need to kind of work out a little bit because the crease is going in the wrong direction. I need to make it go in the opposite direction. Okay, then I flatten it out. It should be a nice flat diamond shape. Okay, I'll open that up again and show you one more time. It was like this. Was your diamond, or I'm sorry, it was your kite shape. You opened it up to look like a square again. You're going to the bottom, lifting up the mouth, opening it up, pulling it. This time it'll go easier for me because I've already folded it once. I'm opening it up, flattening it out like a diamond. Did that on one side. Now I need to turn it over and do it on the other side. I'm going to open this flap, open this flap. Helps me if I put it down on my table. I'm going to reach down here to this point, slowly open, going back to this fold line, straightening that out, opening up, pressing this down, flattening it out. I should have a long skinny diamond one side, long skinny diamond on the other. Now if you did this properly, you should have one closed end and one open end. I like to say they look like little legs. Anyways, we're making cranes, not dancing figures. Put this down, have your little legs pointing toward you. You have two flaps here now. You're going to take one flap, you're going to fold the edge over to the center, similar to what we did before. You're going to crease it. Don't fold both of them. I had some students in another class, they folded them both over and then they got a little confused. Okay, just one side, fold it over. Fold this one over. And it should look like that. Now what you do on one side, we're going to do again on the other. So turn it over. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Got my little legs. I want to make skinnier legs by taking the side and folding it toward the middle. Now I have that side complete. I need to complete this side. Okay, now I have two skinny legs. Now this part, this next step, I'm going to take it, leave it on your table. I'm going to hold it up so it's closer to the camera. But if you'll notice there's like a little edge here and a little edge here. You're going to take these and you're going to pinch them together. Kind of like taking the covers of a book maybe and folding them together. So pinch them together. Got these two together and I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Fold these inward. And now I have a shape that I like to call my fox shape, because to me it kind of looks like the head of a fox. These are two ears. These are the top of his head that come down to his long snout. Now that I have this, I'm going to take the fox's nose and I'm going to fold it up to this point. Fold it all the way up. If it helps, put it on the table to do that. I just took this point, I lifted it up, I'm folding it up. I'm folding the fox's nose up. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Nose goes up. Crease it. Remember to always crease your folds. And now it looks kind of like a crown almost. When I name the shapes I make, it helps me to remember when I make them again. Now I'm going to do this basically the same thing that I just did, and then I'm going to take this flap and this flap. And I'm going to pull them together, pinch them together. Did that on this side, now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do it on this side. Now, this is a fun part because you really start to see the paper crane come to shape now. This is actually the crane's wing, one of the wings. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to fold it down. Turn this over, and fold this wing down. Okay, I'm going to grab this little bottom piece here. Now I need one of these pieces to be my head and one to be my tail. That looks like it was folded a little thick. I think I'll make that one my tail. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to pull this out a little bit. Now I'm pulling that and I'm creating a new angle there. I'm going to have to make a new crease. This will be the crane's long neck. To make a head, I'm going to take this part, open it up, fold it down a little bit, and then pinch. Oh, there's his nose. Let me pull that out a little bit. So we've got the crane's neck and head now with his beak. Okay, now the tail I need to pull out. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the other side. I'm going to gently pull, and I'm going to crease. And there's my paper crane. If you want to, you can fold the edges of the wings. You can put a hole here at the top, punch a hole in or poke a hole, hang it by a string. You can spread the bottoms a little bit so it sits on a flat surface. But that is your origami paper crane. And Japanese tradition holds that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, your wish will come true. Have fun!